Hello everyone, I'm just going to do a quick video update on the potential major winter storm for early next week across the northeastern United States. This is my first time using the drawn zoom on Screencast-O-Matic, so please bear with me as I try to operate this properly. What we're looking at right now is the American Model 500 millibar vorticity map. This is just going to show us where the disturbances in the upper atmosphere are and what the key players for our storm are. So this is tomorrow afternoon, so let's move forward. Okay, let's go to tomorrow evening, and right now I just want to point out that we have this piece of energy coming into the Pacific Northwest tomorrow evening, and that is what is going to create the storm over the Midwest here. Okay? So that's the first piece that we need. Now as we move forward, sorry, hold on. Let me replace myself. This is where we were. Okay, sorry about that. As we move forward, there goes our piece of energy going to the south and east. And now you could see our second player coming into view. It is this trough back up over southern Canada. And this trough is going to be what directs this piece of energy up the coast. Because what's going to end up happening is that this trough will go negative, and this piece of energy is going to essentially round the bend and come right up the coast like that. All the models are showing this now. So that's pretty much set in stone. But the question is, how far east or west does the storm set up? Where does it track? Does it take a track like that? Or does it take a track that takes it a little more off the coast? And see, this is the problem that we're facing now with this forecast. So let's move along. Now watch how this is going to go negative, and then this is going to also go negative. So now by Monday night, here's the piece of energy that has our storm, and here's the trough. It's a neutral tilt now. So this is going to start to be directed to the north and east. There we go. This is Tuesday morning. Here's the energy. So our storm is roughly around Long Island, New York City by Tuesday morning. And I mean, take a look at all this wind energy that's being pumped in, these purples and reds. So you're definitely going to be snowing pretty hard in these areas. See, but the problem with the American model is that your area of low pressure is right over Long Island Tuesday morning. So even though you'll start out as snow, pretty heavy, you'll still start out as heavy snow. You're going to change over to rain when the low comes on shore. Because when low pressure comes on shore, it ushers in warmer air. And you're going to change over. So if this case happens, then coastal areas, southern coastal Connecticut, coastal Rhode Island, Cape Cod, coastal Massachusetts, and even, I think Maine is pretty much set in stone to be all snow. But the areas I just mentioned are going to get ripped off because you're going to change over to rain if that scenario happens. Now the European model has this piece of energy that we're looking at here. It has it just a little further east off of Long Island and Cape Cod. So in that case, the low stays offshore and everybody gets heavy snow. All the heavy snow amounts. And the axis of the heaviest snow would be shifted further east to include the coast. So those are the two scenarios that we're dealing with. So it's just a matter of how far east or west the storm is going to track. Alright, so as we move forward here, you can see how the energy is just rotating around the trough. See, it's all negative now. So it is just rotating around the trough, and that's exactly what you want to see. And then the other thing that you see is that the upper level low, which is now here, is closing off. So that means the storm is rapidly strengthening. This is into Tuesday evening. And even before that, so this is going to be a strengthening storm, which is good. Might be a bit of a reprieve for coastal areas because strengthening storms produce their own cold air. So now I'm going to change over to give me a second, precipitation type. Okay. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to show you the surface map. This is for the American model. Okay, so let's just go right to it. Here's your storm starting to form. This is by tomorrow night. And watch it dig to the south and east. Okay, and then the other thing you have to notice is that you have this other disturbance that's related to another area of energy down off the coast of the Carolinas. So there's two different systems that are coming together. And that's going to really make this a stronger storm. So watch, here's your main area of low pressure, is now off the east coast of the Carolinas. And you can see that on the northern and western side, you're starting to pick up the heavier snow as this starts to strengthen. Look at you see this 1006 over here? Pay attention to that number because that is going to be dropping, which means the storm is strengthening as we go along here. Okay, where were we? All right, this is where we were. This is Monday night. Okay, and now here we are Tuesday morning. Here's your storm. This is your area of low pressure. And remember that on the eastern side, you're funneling in warm, moist air from the ocean. So that's what I'm concerned about with where this low is going to track. And you could see that on the northern and western side of this strengthening storm, you're getting all this heavy snow across eastern Pennsylvania, central New Jersey, Maryland, and going into the lower Hudson Valley, and even Long Island and New York City are getting in on this in the morning. But then watch what happens later in the day. See, now your low pressure is just south of Long Island, right over here. And notice how we're down to 994 millibars now. But to the north and west of this low, this is where your heaviest snow is going to be. The heaviest snow is going to be just west of the rain and snow line, because the closer you are to this area of low pressure, the heavier the precipitation is. So when you transition from rain to snow, it's going to be a rapid transition to heavy snow. So the heaviest snow amounts are going to be closer to that rain and snow line. So that's why this cutoff is so important with this storm. And as you can see, you are all rain across Long Island and Cape Cod now, and coastal Connecticut. But you also have to remember that this is a strengthening storm, so the closed low is going to generate its own cold air. So we'll see if that has any impact. Okay, but yeah, you can see that along the coast here, you're getting ripped off in terms of snow. But again, that's the GFS. The European model says different. Okay, so if I had to paint a threat area, it's pretty much the entire Northeast, but I would probably put everybody from Kentucky through West Virginia, Central Virginia, on North D.C., Baltimore, and Philly, you are getting in on this. All of Long Island, all of Massachusetts, Connecticut, all of Maine, all of New York State. Like, everybody it's pretty much the entire Northeast has a threat for major snow. Now, where do I think the heaviest snow is going to happen? Well, if the GFS comes to fruition, then your heaviest snow is going to be to the west of the coast, right in this area that I'm circling right now. Eastern Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, the Hudson Valley, western and central Massachusetts up into Vermont and southern New Hampshire. And then up into central Maine, you would get some heavier snow too. But if it's further east, then the heaviest snow, the axis would be further east, probably along the coast. So this is going to be interesting to watch over the next couple of days. Stay updated. I'll have an accumulation map tomorrow night.